Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing today? If you guys could please like and subscribe, it really help build my podcast. This is the podcast. I'm sick, as you guys can kind of hear. I got COVID. It sucks. It's one of those things that just kind of happens. So I kind of wanted to talk about some things that have kind of happened in the sneaker world since I've made my last podcast one and last video. So I've at this point by the point of where we're talking right now in the podcast, I have uploaded my Chicago Lost and Found review, and I'm really proud of that review. Honest to God, guys, it's I'm just gonna apologize that I'm sick. Just drinking some water, trying to clear the throat, and stuff like that. Um, the Chicago Lost and Found, really just the Chicago one, Chicago Jordan one. I am just so proud to have that in my collection. It is a holy grail for me, and you guys know if you guys are sneakerheads or you guys are really into clothing and stuff like that, then you know that these things are really special for us. When you get your holy grail, if you're really into like hypebeast clothing, you get that Supreme box logo or the full zip babe, hoodie, something like that, or the Stone Island full sweater cargo combo. It feels good to get those things. And when you're a sneakerhead, when you accomplish and get those goals, like when I got the De La Souls for the SBs, that was a really big accomplishment for me. And it may not seem like it because of the drama or the flopness that's happened around the Chicago with Jordan 1 Lost and Found, but I have a Jordan 1 Chicago in my collection now, and it feels so good, guys. It's like it's a great feeling, and I know starting the podcast like this is a little weird, but it's something I just kind of want to talk about. That's what this podcast is about. It's about me going a little more in depth with you guys and some of my thoughts around the sneaker world, and that is a big one. It's a huge one for me. It's just having another Grail in my collection. I have the De La Souls. I have these. If I could get like the Coraline dunks, some goofy stuff like that, that'd be really cool. But just another Grail in my closet, and it feels so good. And in terms of what we're talking about, that in my review, one thing I said is buy the shoe now because I don't know what people are thinking. They're like, I'm gonna wait till a week after release day to go cop this shoe. And in the video, I specifically said, I was like, I don't know what people are thinking because this is still a Jordan 1 Chicago at its core. You can put the Lost and Found, you can put the Reimagine, you can add whatever shoe you want to it. This is a Chicago Jordan 1. Whatever details they've added to it, that's ultimately what this shoe is. And I kind of called it. And I even called it down the line. I was like, in a year from now, it's going to be a $500 shoe. But it's less than a week now, I want to say, or maybe a week now. I think, yes, it's been a week now. And this shoe, no, less than a week. Tomorrow's going to be a week. This shoe is at, as you guys can see here on this page, $440 in size 11, which is what my size, I think, I always talk about 9.5 to 11, because I think I should be a 9.5 to 11.5. I think that those are the standard sizes. I do actually know a lot of people who wear size 13 too, so I should include that. As you can see here, it's around the same price. But basically, from size 9 to size 13, it's 420 to 440 post processing fees. Probably 470. You're gonna realistically, after taxes, pay $500 for the shoe. Post fees and taxing and shipping and all that other crap, this is a $500 shoe. And I know at its core, it looks like it's basically a $440, $450 shoe. This shoe is going up, and it's going up. It went up really quickly. It jumped $100. To be completely upfront with where you guys are, I got this shoe. I think I got this shoe around like 370, 380, I think. So definitely paid more than retail. But I knew in that video, even by calling it, I said there's going to be a lot more L's than what people think. And I was 100% right because I was there for release day and I had a buddy who had five accounts to try to help him get this shoe. And literally, he could not get into the app with any of them. I had a weird issue where I actually got in, but for some reason, it kept making me re-put my shipping information over and over and over and over, and I never got into the draw. Like I never got into the queue. So it was probably one of the worst releases I've heard in a long time. And we actually, I think we got some real numbers. I think it was 500,000 shoes made. So, and a good chunk of those were backdoored even when they came, before the shoe came out. And man, man, was I right. So many L's, a lot of L's in this shoe. And the shoe jumped. I think it's being in the 450 after taxes and stuff, which people don't tend to think about that. $500, you know, that puts the shoe out of place for a lot of people. And I think that that's the sad part is a lot of people didn't get the shoe when it was $350. And one low point, I was like, oh no, I shouldn't, because I got them at 370. Even I was like, damn, 350, like that's a steal. And people, people did buy the shoe, but a lot of people waited. A lot of people were like, I'm going to get it for retail because everyone heard about how there's a million pairs made. It's it's a sad, unfortunate reality of what actually happened. What actually happened was the app was horrible and crashed and didn't work right, and no one got the shoe, or some people, obviously some people got the shoe. And it was one of the ones where I just paid the extra money up front because I had a feeling that these shoes were going to be hyped, and they were so hyped. Keeping on with the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. Now, something that's really interesting kind of got brought up on multiple channels in terms of sneaker YouTube and specifically like Twitter threads and stuff like that. I follow a lot of things on Twitter. The Jordan 1 Lost and Found has a mold issue. Now, here's the thing. Let me give a little more clarification on that. I heard that this has happened. I heard that this happened, and I thought it was like very limited because you hear about shit like this happening in like the Philippines where it's like really humid environments and stuff like that. But I thought it was fake. And this actually was the photo that I saw. I was like, okay, well, this could, we don't know anything about that, where this could be or anything. And then on a Twitter feed, I actually saw that there really were real people getting real pairs that were affected by the mold. And people were like, there was a guy who made a guide on how to clean the mold off of the shoe. So this picture doesn't know justice on what you can actually see with the shoe and what's actually happening. This is the most common photo you see. Even like you have this stupid TikTok thing going on here, and everyone's showing this shoe. And in reality, this shoe does have people that are getting the shoe with mold in it, and it's freaking crazy. And so this is actually something else that's kind of messed up too. On top of people taking humongous amounts of L's on the shoe, uh, they're also canceling orders of the Chicago Lost and Found due to the mold issue. And it's sad. It's a sad thing that happens because you want people to just have the shoe, and I'm sure, and I could be totally wrong here, but it's probably crazy illegal. People would prefer to just have the shoe and find a way to clean the mold off because getting your money back doesn't allow you to have a shot at these shoes. I know it sucks to hear that thing and just talk about that thing, and people would rather have the shoe moldy, man. Seriously, I know it for a fact, and I believe while trying to find information on it, it's very hard to find information. But what I have found, and this is through Twitter threads, so I don't even know if this is 100%, sourceable information that are good quality sources, I should say. But people are saying it has to do with the uncured process of the collar or something like that. I don't know. My parents don't have it, and I was so crazy worried once I found that out. But apparently, it is a thing. It is a reality. But it's just really sad because with them canceling the shoes on people, probably due to this mold issue, it's harsh. So now even less people are having the shoe, and it's really sad, man. It really freaks me out. Hopefully, Hopefully, there's a restock or something like that that allows people to get the shoe more often. But I don't know. It's crazy. This shoe has had so much controversy around it. It's ridiculous. I mean, people talking about backdooring and how basically people got the shoe so early. I mean, there was people that were doing reviews on the shoe a month before it came out, which is pretty crazy. But with that being said, what do I think about this? I think it's something that just kind of happens. Mold is something which I believe has to do with humidity and stuff like that. It is unavoidable, I think, in if these shoes are made in certain countries where that environment is a thing, it's not unreasonable to think that there will be shoes that are moldy, especially if specifically, maybe something's uncured, has a more a more advanced or maybe a better chance of getting mold, building up on there and becoming a reality of the picture we see right here. But it is what it is. It just sucks that, like I said, to me, it just sucks that people lose their shoe more than anything. But man, so you can even see here apparently that it's been done before. This isn't the first time. Obviously, yeah, I've heard about. I didn't know it was the bread AJKO, but I actually heard about another AJKO having this issue too. Since making that last video, there has been something that I thought was kind of big, and just to kind of get straight into it, it's that StockX is replacing the term 100% authentic with verified. And this totally has to deal with, yeah, with, as you guys can read here, this totally has to deal with the legal battle with Nike. And it's just a reality that StockX is the one that is being sued by Nike, so they're the ones that cannot put that. Does that make them any worse or better than GOAT or any type of third party resale, eBay, I should say? No, unfortunately, I think it's the one that got sued. And a lot of people have this thing where they're like, all shoes from StockX are fake. And this is, to give you a little background, this is coming from a perspective of someone who majority buys their shoe on eBay. Most of my stuff is authenticated through eBay. And I have bought a couple shoes through StockX, and I have bought a couple shoes, or now I've bought through shoes, I should say, through Go. But majority of my shoes came from the eBay authentication. So this is not someone who's StockX biased, because I could truly give two shits about StockX. I think I only had 2 or 3 shoes come from StockX. The reality is, none of these companies can put 100% authentic. And I think that that's the big thing what people are thinking about. And unfortunately, for StockX, they're the ones that are being sued or in a legal battle with Nike, so that they're the ones who cannot put that. But the other companies saying that their stock, they're more authentic than, StockX. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. I don't believe, and I'm someone who buys through eBay. I don't believe eBay's authentication is any better than StockX or Goats, and vice versa for any of the other two. You know, the reality is these are things. These are products that are being reviewed or authenticated. Sorry, are being authenticated by humans, and humans make mistakes. Humans aren't perfect. And unless you have the receipt that connects like a stock number or something like that to that, there's no 100% for any of them through eBay, through anyone else, through anything you buy. And it's something I never hear people saying. That there's so many people that just talk shit about people that buy through StockX. Oh man, you buy it there, your shit's fake for sure. Bro, anyone who's buying through a third party resale can buy fake shit. I literally was looking up videos about the Chicago Lost and Founds fakes, and before I got my shoe, and literally, yes, there's some signs of the shoe being fake, specifically with the details like the paper, and that was the one consistent thing through everyone's video authentication video. But besides the paper, with the exception of the paper, some people were saying the cracking on the lost and found needs to be big, and that's how you know it's real. Some people were saying, oh, it needs to be small, and that's how you know it's real. They were saying contradicting things. Multiple people, multiple sources were saying contradicting things on what lost and found feature is real. And it's because it's a vintage shoe. It's a pre-vintage shoe that the details are going to be different because they're done by hand. These people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Excuse my language. But you have these guys. Oh, if the cracks on or on the leather on the back panels aren't really big, if they're too big, they're not fake. And then another guy. Oh, if the cracks on the collar are really big, like this, then you know they're legit because you know my shoe's legit. None of the shit was adding up, guys. They were saying contradicting things, and that really kind of showed me what I need to see. These authenticators, yes, do they have better skills than most of Joe Schmo like you and I, like I just saw in that YouTube video that I was just talking about? 100%. But I also feel like these people make mistakes in terms of you bought or someone bought a fake shoe. You just don't know 100%, and that goes for any time you buy something off the internet, unless they have a receipt connecting that to that. You are screwed. You do not have a 100% authentic for anyone. eBay, Go, StockX, and it's crazy to me. People are making such a big thing on this, and I'm like, dude, you don't. It doesn't matter where you're buying. Your shit could be fake. Your shit could be real. It doesn't matter. It is something that happens. Everyone gets got eventually. I guarantee it. I think everyone that is bought from these third party sites has at least one L in their closet. I really do think so because there's no way. These people are reviewing so many shoes, and even though they're better than you and me at authenticating what is real or not, they just see their quantity is too much. And you hear about it happening with grails. I remember watching a video about one of the Tom Sachs shoes, and this guy got fake shoes, ironically enough, from StockX, but he got fake shoes. But I did watch another video about Goat, and this guy bought the Travis Scott Jordan 1 highs from Goat, and they were fake. And Goat didn't want to help them and told them basically, sorry, not sorry, type of thing. And StockX did the exact same thing on Tom Sachs shoes, and these were big shoe tubers. So these things happen, guys. They're going to happen. Buy the shoes. It's a reality. Is there one that I suggest more than any? I just suggest eBay just because I've bought through them, and I think StockX has great shipping times, but the shipping fees are ridiculous. Goat takes 9 years to ship a fucking item. Excuse my language. I don't know if you guys have ever bought through there, but my experiences with Goat are that they take 9 years to ship the item and get the item to you. eBay to me is the fastest because I've gotten the shoe within less than a week, and that's with the seller sending to New York to be authenticated, being authenticated and then being sent to my house. And it's just strictly shipping times. I do not think one is more authentic than the other. I just think that eBay's faster. That's just my reality. All right, guys. Who are you guys using? What are you guys using? What do you guys think about this? I'm just so curious on what you guys think about this because this is something that's been kind of blowing my mind because I've heard already people say, "Oh, you got something from StockX, then your shit's food." Like it's like come on, guys. You know what I mean? And like I said, this to reiterate my point from when I first started talking about this. I'm someone who bought most of my shoes through eBay. So this is from a totally unbiased source. I just think it's dumb. Because back in the days, if you bought your shit through eBay without the authentication, because this was pre authentication, people were like, yo, your shit's fake, bro. So it's it's one of those things. It's really weird the things that people do and the things that people think are reality in the sneaker world fucked up in terms of what people judge things for. The hype, we all fall for it. I don't know. It is what it is. And in kind of wrap this up by let me know what do you guys buy through? Who do you guys buy through? Why do you buy through them? Do you think that one is better than the other? You think one is more authentic than the other? I don't know. This is a short podcast, but I kind of want to get these things out. These things are stuff that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. Oh, one more thing. I'm in my Air 4s. That was horrible. Just as bad as the Jordan 1s. I had no shot at getting those shoes, and I didn't even realize I had no shot at getting those shoes. Beautiful shoe. Did you guys get into that at least? I mean, I that was another one I just couldn't even get in. It was ridiculous. All right, guys. This podcast is short. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, and hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving.